And we are live. Hello, hello. Let me know how my audio sounds. Can you all hear me? New technology, so we're going to see how this goes. I have belief and confidence that it's going to work, but you never know. Looks like we got 5 people in here. Can you guys hear me? Snow Wolf, what's up? Can you hear me? All right. Looks like we got audio. We got the lo-fi going. We got the new studio set up. This is the background music I've been using on the intro screens, but Noah said that I shouldn't do that because it's bad for the algorithm. So I'm playing it now while we wait for people to tune in. Looks like we're getting people rolling in though, so we can get started here in just a minute. Thank you all for tuning in to the new Thursday night stream that we have titled Under the Lights. This is going to be the routine this season. We've got Lobbing Scorchers Kickoff on Mondays at 8 a.m. with Nico Moreno, Under the Lights with me and assorted guests on Thursdays at 7:30. I'm going to try and use my connections to get a rotating cast of characters on here. Hopefully have like a lot of national pundits and people of that nature on here. Hopefully gonna have Jackson Feltz hop on later. He's got Jackson Feltz from KJR, host of Sounders Weekly. He's gonna try and free up some time to join and talk some Sounders a little bit later. But it's just gonna be me for about the first hour here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the lo-fi and we can get rolling. Gonna be me for the first hour here. Kings FC, new YouTube member. Thank you very much. That's a great reminder. If you want to support the show, support the channel, great way to do that is become a YouTube member. Appreciate you, Kings FC. Other great ways to support the show, sounder@heart.com/ls. Patronize our sponsors, Hacks and Ferments, Full Pull Wines, Full Pull Wine, and Podium Menswear in Edmonds. Yeah, got a good stream planned for tonight. We got more kit discourse. The kits have dropped, so we're gonna do more kit discourse. And then the Sounders played another preseason game. Got 7 more goals cumulatively across 2 scrimmages with Louisville City FC. We released a podcast today where we talk about that. But what I'm going to do with you guys tonight, we're going to watch some highlights, break down some goals from that game. Theoretically, I should be able to do this without getting popped by the feds and the oligarchs. I talked to the Seattle Sounders, or a representative from the Seattle Sounders, and asked them if we could play their highlights on our channel, and they were like, yeah, that's fine, we don't care. So if there's any feds out there that are in our chat, I have permission from the literal team to play these highlights. So you don't need to come after. I would argue you shouldn't come after us for playing soccer highlights at all, but being that that's something that apparently federal law enforcement is into, I have literal permission, so we're gonna watch some preseason highlights. If I get DMCA'd, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but I shouldn't. Gonna play some sound from practice. We got some Schmetz sound, we got some Obed sound, Jesus Ferreira sound, Jordan Morris sound, Christian Roldan. I went through all the interviews and just picked out a couple quotes that I thought were notable, so we're gonna dive into those. And then hopefully Jackson will hop on around 8:15, 8:30, he said. And other than that, I feel like with these, you guys can honestly dictate the direction of it as much as me. Like if you have questions or just topics that you want to hit, drop them in chat, and I'll do my best to get to all the ones that I see. All the good ones that I see, I should say. But if you want to guarantee that your comment or your question gets seen and read and put on the screen, you could always do a super chat. All right. Looks like we got 30-ish people in here. So I think this is a good time to get started. I think, well, first of all, what do you guys think of the new Lobbing Scorchers studio? It's kind of nice, right? Noah and I spent about 2 hours last night at the Lobbing Scorchers studio, also known as my apartment, setting this up. Got clowned on in the comments for lack of polish. Look at this polish. Check out the polish. It's good polish. It's very polished. I'm polished. I gotta sit up though. I got clowned on for my posture as well. So yeah, no, it's a good studio. Got good lighting, good ambiance. I'm happy with it. It is, to be fair, it was not very polished. This is more polished. We're upping our polish game. Official Lobbing Scorchers ranking of the new jerseys around the league. That is actually a great idea, and we can definitely do that. I don't know if I'm going to rank every single one, but I think let's go through some of the other ones. We can talk about which ones we like, which ones we don't like, how they compare to Seattle's kit. But first, we're going to do some Sounders kit discourse. We already did it based off the leak, but now that it's officially dropped, I want to look at the content about the kits that's dropped today with you guys and do a little more discoursing on it, because I feel like, you have the Evander Lucho Acosta trade. That was a big story. Kit release day is like bigger than all that. So the first thing that I was going to do, the club put out a video of the players seeing the kits for the first time, which I thought was kind of fun. And it gives you a good, more in-depth look at them as well. So we're going to watch that. I have to pull up said video first real quick, though. Here we go. Share screen, good technology. Here we go. The Salish Sea Kit. All right, let me know if this video works or if you guys having trouble.
Oh, these are tight.
Yeah, clean for real.
Blue on blue? It's gonna be nice.
Okay.
I think that's something you can wear casually. That's what you want in a jersey.
Nice, man.
Colors are perfect.
These are sweet.
I think the pattern's sweet. The colors are good. Brother, I can't get. See you guys.
Pretty nice, right? Pretty nice. Second behind Nightfall. Yeah, I like the Nightfall. In terms of recent ones, Nightfall was really good. Jimi Hendrix, Bruce Lee, those were all really good. This one's definitely up there for me, though. I think I love that blue. I like the design. It's nice. It's nice. And it seems like it's been a notably positive response to him too. I feel like usually kit release day gets pretty polarizing, but most of the fan base seems to like these kits. I don't want to speak too soon, but Fry said he might have to change positions so he can wear it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's a good point. I had more content. I had more kit content, but I don't know where it's at. I don't know if you guys have more kit discourse other than that. Otherwise, I was going to do what Ryan said and pull up some of the other kits, and we can have some fun with that. But go ahead and if you got any more takes and discourse surrounding the Sounders kit, by all means, keep it coming. Seattle's kit leading the front page right now of MLS Soccer. Here's another good look at it. This is a more detailed look at it. See the pattern on there. Kit is designed in collaboration with artists representing the Puyallup, Muckleshoot, and Squamish tribes, paying homage to the Sounders' deep connection to the Puget Sound and highlighting the club's shared responsibility as stewards of the greater watershed. So, backstory. First time you're seeing it, there we go. See, that's why we do this. What's the worst kit? I don't know. That's what we can. Let's take a look at some of the other clubs' kits here. There were some good ones and some not so good ones, as there usually is. I've been saying I'm not like a huge kit guy. Like I don't really even know what constitutes a good or bad kit aside from whether I think the colors look cool. So like this one from the Galaxy, I feel like is pretty cool. It's like it's different than how they usually do it. It's a little outside the box. The RSL kit had a lot going on. See, I can respect a kit like this, though. It's a little out there. It's making a statement. Who else do we have here? Got Houston. That's a relatively standard Dynamo kit. Chicago Fire kicking off the Greg Berhalter era with this one right here. Kind of like that. I tend to like what CF Montreal does usually, but like a lot of them I feel like are just kind of what certain teams rock every year. Like this is what if I was picturing a CF Montreal kit, it would pretty much just be that. Nashville SC here. Classic Whitecaps, absolutely classic Whitecaps. I love the Whitecaps kits though. I feel like they never miss. Spencer doesn't like Phillies. Phillies was one of the ones that was different than they normally do. Oh, I see Jackson. Jackson Phelps. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, is this working? Is this thing on?
Yeah, you're on. You are live.
What's up? Ari, good to talk with you, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on. I wasn't expecting you for a little while, so
I know. I'm sorry. I've been kind of you and I have been texting, and I've kind of been back and forth. It's a weird night. So
Jackson Phelps, KJR, everybody, host of Sounders Weekly on KJR. Kind enough to give us a few minutes of your time tonight. Appreciate that. You said you got about 10 right now?
Yeah, 10, 15. We'll see what happens.
All right, then we'll get right into it. Just let me know when you got to take off. But yeah, I'm excited to catch up with you, man. It's I feel like we haven't really formally caught up in a while, and at least not since the big moves with the Sounders off season really popped off. So I guess the first thing I have to really get your thoughts on is just, I guess, the off season as a whole, and obviously specifically this Ferreira trade, which was the biggest move of the offseason. But then when you throw the Paul Arriola and Kim Ki-hee arrivals in there. What did you make of first just the Ferreira trade and then the offseason as a whole?
Yeah, I think Ferreira is the guy that this team needed. I mean, he's the player that we need playing under Jordan. I mean, it's like, you know how at the start of the last season, Ari, that Raul kind of played under Jordan a little bit as kind of that, guy who was trying to find space, but really Raul, as great as he was in 2024, he was just, not the same Rui Diaz. So he's hitting goals from 45 yards out and a bunch of Panenkas, but he's not hitting the 10 yards, 12-yard shots that he hit in years prior. He wasn't the same player. He couldn't be shifty enough and creative enough inside the box, so he wasn't a great inside the box type of player. And we need that type of guy who can be creative, who can hit a ball from 15 yards with direction and with pace and put it into a bottom corner. And we've already seen that from Ferreira this preseason, when they were across the pond, playing preseason games. This is a guy who can do that. And when you have De La Vega, who can also get creative in the box, when you have Morris, who can get behind center backs, that's just going to pull defenses apart. So you're going to have Jordan in behind pulling a center back. You're going to be having Jesus drag one as well. You're going to have their fullbacks stretched to the sides with Pedro on one wing, and who knows whether it's Christian or Paul, Georgie, whoever on the other wing. I mean, this is a team offensively. I mean, obviously defense is fine. But offensively, they needed to figure out a lot about how you can stay unpredictable, how you can get defenses, in less of a rhythm. And I think Ferreira is the key to the whole thing, to be able to score more goals and to be able to really, cause opposing head coaches and opposing coaching staffs to fear the Sounders offensively again, and to really challenge them of how they're going to combat this offensive unit.
Yeah, it's funny because we all knew that a major addition was coming in attack, but I think the expectation was that was probably going to come from outside the league, or at least, if it came from inside the league, Ferreira wasn't really even a guy that I had much of on my radar. I kind of didn't know the extent to which things had fallen out with him, between him and FC Dallas. But when I found out that the addition was coming from inside the league and that it was a former best 11 two-time all-star attacker who's had a season where he's put up 24 goal contributions is his career high. And I agree with what you're saying. Skill set wise, I like his versatility, even compared to a guy like Chicho Arango, who's another MLS attacker who moved this offseason.
Yeah.
But you mentioned De La Vega. Let's talk about that because, dude, I mean, he looks good this preseason. Like, good, like eyebrow-raisingly good. He looks good in a way that, like, I think a lot of people had lost hope of him ever looking that good. So, it only means so much because it's preseason. But what have you made of just how good he's looked during this preseason?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where we knew last year the guy just wasn't fully healthy. I mean, he needed a full offseason to get right, to get fit, to get integrated into the squad. And he just never had that. I mean, the guy's preseason was really the middle of the season for what it's worth. And he just never, rhythm wise, I used that word before, but Seattle offensively rhythm wise never got going because Pedro never got going. So, the transfer, I mean, we're on group threads. I mean, we see people complaining and people saying oh God, it's a bust and stuff and I kind of kept telling our friends, can we just wait? Can we just be patient and know that this is a long-term signing? There is going to be lots coming down the road for Pedro de la Vega. Let's just wait to see what a full off season and a full, just time to get into rhythm with this squad is going to be like. And once he gets that rhythm, which we're clearly seeing, we get good results. Not to mention, he has pieces around him. He has Rothrock around him, who's clearly developed, and he's taking another step, I think. You have Ferreira now. So Pedro has the options as well around him. He has a really, really good midfield right behind him as well. I mean, Pedro has everything around him to be a dynamic force multiplier. And that's a word that I'm going to be using on the broadcasts a lot this year. Force multipliers are players that just make everybody around them better. He will make, I think, Rusnak a better player, I think, in the mid. He will make Jesus and Jordan better just because he's going to be able to make those runs this year that he wasn't able to make last year. So we're already seeing this, and we're already seeing just what he can do to this attack. And if you get a Pedro that we thought we were going to get at this time last year, and if you get Jesus at maybe not the level of a couple of years ago, but certainly way more than the level of last year when he was injury plagued, then suddenly you're talking about an attack that you're stacking onto the best defense in MLS. And yeah, I mean, the Galaxy just sold Oliveira today, right? So, and you know, or sorry, LAFC, excuse me, sold Oliveira today. So you have, I think the Western Conference should be looking at Seattle, especially what's been happening this preseason, and saying, oh God.
It's wide open. The West is wide open. Yeah, De La Vega had 2 more goals yesterday. He had 4 this preseason to lead the team. The second goal that he scored yesterday was the best goal anyone has scored all preseason. I mean, it was a great team goal. That's what I've been enjoying about watching this offense so far in preseason is how it all seems to be working together and functioning as it should. Felt like disjointed and kind of just slow at times last year. So, I mean, it's been great to see them score 19 goals in these 5 games. You know, like I said, you know, they got to do that in the real games. But I certainly think that we can look at this preseason and be excited about the foundation that's been laid and excited about De La Vega's prospects. How are you feeling ahead of CONCACAF Champions Cup? That's the first tournament coming up here. It's always it always feels kind of weird for me to start the season with like some of the biggest games that you're going to play all season. Noah's been on a take that he thinks this is the tournament that Seattle has the best chance to win this year. How are you feeling about this tournament overall?
I think he's right. I think he's absolutely right. I mean, let's just throw the Club World Cup right out of there, obviously. So then you're talking about Leagues Cup, which Leagues Cup is interesting this year. I mean, the fact that you're going to have the group stage of 3 Mexican teams coming to Seattle, I like the chances there, but at the end of the day, I mean, that is a long tournament. I think it's a really good teams, and it's going to be a really intense time where you're still working with a little bit of fixture congestion on the back end of Leagues Cup. But CCC, I mean, I think it all comes back to this, Ari. I mean, this team is so deep. I mean, we look at the rosters from, like, you know, some of the best years in Sounder history, right? You look at 14, you look at 19, you look at 22. Some of the things that are specifically alike with these years are the depth on these teams. Every time, you know, regardless of who the GM was, those teams that went to, you know, deep in tournaments and won trophies, they are deep. This Sounder team here in 25 is, I don't know if it's as talented as some other Sounder teams, but I think it's as deep as those best Sounder teams. Because, I mean, you're having conversations about, well, Josh Atencio, the midfield is so deep, Josh Atencio is moving to center back. Because just, you know, I think you're going to see Danny Leyva, you know, he's ready to kind of be the Josh Atencio we've seen in the last couple of years. I think you're going to see Obed Vargas continue to say, like, listen, no, I mean, I am the starter next to Christian. Sorry, Joao Paulo, you're now the first guy off the bench or second guy off the bench. I mean, Joao Paulo, MVP candidate from a few years back, is going to be one of your top guys on the bench, I think, if everybody is healthy. So, like, this team is so ridiculously deep, and we still haven't seen what Georgie Manungu is going to turn into. And I think he has an immense amount of talent. So if you can manage the MLS season, and if you can get a little bit deeper into CONCACAF, and then, you know, Brian will make the moves he needs to make, yeah, I think Noah's right. I think this is the tournament that Sounders have the best chance of winning. Again.
The other thing that's been interesting to me to watch this preseason is the tactical flexibility that they're developing. They've been drilling this 3-5-2 with the 3 center backs, and I'm really curious to see how the fullbacks play in that formation, but it does create an interesting lineup conundrum where we were playing with the lineup builder. We played with that on a couple of streams, and the 3-5-2. It seems like De La Vega is the odd man out in that. Like that you can't really work that lineup with him in the 11 unless, and this was my idea, unless you put him at left wing back, which I think he does not have that skill set in a traditional sense, but I do think my argument was putting him there would be pretty fun. If you think about a player with his attacking skill set in that position, you could do that. But really, for him to be in a first choice 11, they have to be running a 4-2-3-1. But I guess that's sort of what I'm interested to see how they handle when the season starts. And these things tend to solve themselves. But what have you
I disagree with that. I think you can absolutely fit them in, because I think here's what you can do. I think what you can do in a 3-5-2 is you can put Christian Roldan as your right wing back. You have the back three of Nuhu, Yamar, Jackson. I think the left wing back is an interesting spot where you could throw a Paul Arriola. I think that's probably the best option for left wing back in a 3-5-2. Obviously, you have Jesus and Jordan up top, and then that's that three in the middle, right? And that three in the middle becomes an interesting question. I think that Obed and Albert are locks for two of the three. And then it's Pedro. And the question then becomes, well, how do you organize that three? And if you treat that threesome almost as a flexible trio to go where they need to, and maybe Obed's the one that will always stay back. But I think, Albert's played back before. He can slide if he needs to. But ultimately, if you're playing in that, then you have Christian and you have Paul, who can also slide back to create a 5. So you have cover there. That's a trio in that three of Pedro, of Albert, and Obed. I think would work ridiculously well under Jordan and Jesus, knowing that, Jordan and Jesus are not going to play off of each other the same way that we've seen, two forward formations in the past, I think, in Seattle. I think they're going to play a lot differently. And I think that's what's going to allow Pedro and the freedom that Pedro de la Vega would be given in that formation to kind of do something crazy with that. Ari, I got about a minute more, so you got one more question for me.
So you would move Rusnak back, and that's how you would get.
I wouldn't. No, it's more flexibility. It's more just let the three roam as they may and as needed, and give them the freedom. And Obed's the one who always stays a little further back, but give Pedro and Albert, if they see let's go, give them the flexibility to both go.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to play with the lineup builder again and see what you're cooking on with that, because I've been toying with a lot of different things with that. But anyway, Jackson Feltz, KJR, thank you so much for the time tonight, man. We're going to have to do it again real soon when you have a little more time. But appreciate you hopping on here. And I go on his show every Monday throughout Sound.
Yeah, we start Tuesday, 7 p.m. on KJR. So I'll talk to you early next week, my friend.
Okay, sounds good, buddy. Have a good night. Appreciate it.
Ari, love you, buddy. Thanks so much for bringing me on.
That was Jackson Feltz from Sports Radio KJR, host of Sounders Weekly. Appreciate the time from him, and yeah, I'm hoping to line up a lot of guests on this stream this year. That's sort of how I was envisioning it. Monday it'll be Nico and I for Lobbing Scorchers Kickoff, and then this one can do a more rotating cast and do some more interactive activities. Probably do lineup builder stuff and stuff like that more on this one, even though Nico and I are doing that on Monday. That was kind of because it's the off season, but I didn't really know. I didn't even know what to do. But anyway, let's watch some preseason highlights. Let's do that. That's what I've been looking forward to, and I'm allowed to. So I don't want to hear from you, Feds. Rhombus says, I think there can't be a single lineup because of all those games with all the rotation. Brian has to make a lot of combinations work. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is like. It's fun in preseason to have all these debates, but when injuries and fixture congestion and all that hit, like international duty, your lineup basically solves itself. And then also you end up. I was talking to Nico about it the other day, and I was saying Leo Burney might play more than people think this year. And he was like, oh, no, I mean, he's the sixth center back. I don't really see it. But it's like a lot of times you end up in a situation over the course of an MLS season where the sixth center back like has to play. So Derek Richards, super sticker. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you coming through with those. Reese says, "Is your mic on?" I think it is. Are you guys hearing me all right? No one has said anything about the audio being poor. So if it is, let me know though, and I will do my best to fix it. I don't know. Like if we're having audio issues and it's just me running the stream, it might be tough. But let me know if you guys are having trouble hearing me or anything like that. All right, Ryan says it sounds fine, so I'm gonna go off that because I don't want to think about a reality where my mic's not working. It's gonna make me panic. All right. I was pulling up this preseason game against Louisville today. Let's watch these goals. Team's been fun to watch this preseason, so that's one thing that's exciting. All right, here we go. Works, but probably not from the mic. What does that mean? Oh no, my blue light went off. It's okay. All right, this is from these are the goals from today's scrimmage versus Louisville City FC. 4 goals in this game. 2 more from De La Vega. Christian had 1 and Ymar had 1. I was reading this off on the podcast that went out today, but I compiled the team leaders, the team statistical leaders. You got De La Vega with 4 goals leading the team and Ferreira with 2. And then a big cast of characters all with 1. I mean, Morris, Rusnak, Snyder Burnell, both rolled ons, Paul Rothrock, JP, Travion Sosa, Obed Vargas, Ymar, Stu Hawks, and Moose both had 1. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different goal scorers on these 19 goals. That's nice. All right, here we go. Let's check out these goals. That's De La Vega's first one. Corner kick from Ferreira. Christian comes in, flicks on that header. Far post. So that's a nice goal, but it wasn't like the craziest goal I've ever seen. Nice Jordan to Christian for the second goal. We're really just waiting for Pedro's second goal. But here we got Jesus Ferreira taking the set piece again. Check out this one. This is a better angle. This is the De La Vega bicycle kick attempt. Look at what he does here. Look at that again from that angle. Whew. He almost cashes that. If he had cashed that, I would be betting on him for everything. Ymar cleans it up. But, I mean, look, this is just another example of, like, De La Vega is legitimately on one right now. Like, he's legitimately on one. Even in my, I wanted him to be on one this preseason. I think he had to be on one this preseason. But even in the best case scenario of him being on one, I mean, he is on one. Like, and case in point, all right, I need you guys to watch his last goal here. If you haven't seen this one yet, I realize a lot of you probably have, but if you haven't, this is going to get you pumped up. I mean, I'm going to play it again. Did you guys see that? You guys see that? Play it again. Play it again. Look at this godforsaken goal that this man scored in this preseason game against Louisville City. I mean, can't finish it much better than that. Anyway, the takeaway here is a sweet goal. Takeaway here is that De La Vega is on one. It was a Paul Ariel assist on this goal. I just love this goal. I'll watch it again just because it was a great goal. Paul Ariel with the assist. What a finish. You love to see it. You love to see it. 4 goals this preseason, including the best goal that any player scored and the best assist that any player scored. So I like this is why I bring this up. This is why I bring this up. I'm officially excited about Pedro de la Vega. Officially excited about this. I've been trying to hedge it, been trying to not get ahead of myself, trying not to get too excited about preseason. I saw that goal yesterday and I was like, okay, I'm hyped now. I was hyped before. Now I'm hype. Georgie stretching the defense to make space in the middle. Good call out. And great build up down the left side. I love that goal. Let's see. I was thinking about doing some more preseason goals, but I'm not sure. Would there be interest in that? You guys want to break down some more preseason goals, or my other plan was to go to the press conferences. If you got any preference between goals and listening to some sound from Schmetz and some players, go ahead and drop them in chat. Look at this high quality stream. I mean, the polish levels are unreal. I'm so polished right now. Noah's in the chat, yes. Low-key watching your reflection in the glass behind you. Yeah, didn't I guess we did notice that when we were setting it up and we were trying to sit me maybe. So what if I sit like no, you're just gonna have to deal with that. All right, Brando says more goals, so we're gonna do more goals. Noah's watching the show from under the table while he's in class. That is dedication to the content. It's going to, first of all, everyone congratulate Noah for being a good student that goes to his classes. Second of all, way to not pay attention and devote your time to the content. Oh, he's giving me the tech advice. I think is that better audio? The mic is on. The mic is on. The board is on. I see the levels on the board. So if you guys can't hear the mic now, I don't know what to tell you. But it seems like everyone can hear what I'm saying. So isn't that what matters? Yeah, thanks, Reese. You were right. I think I erroneously contended that you were wrong, but you called that. You called that. See, the people who understand the technology. All right. I pulled up highlights from another preseason game here. I can't remember which one this was, so we're going to find out together. This was Hamarby.
Jordan actually almost cashed that. I don't know if I can really see what's going on here. This might not be the best. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Georgie. And that was an Alex rolled on goal. Okay, this isn't the best game. I want to do the one where they scored 5. That's the one I was looking for. Alborg. Sorry, 1 second, guys. This is gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. Why can't I find these? Here we go. All right. Sorry about that. We're good. Five goals in this game. Bad sequels. Thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. $1 to make the audio holla. Exactly. All right, what do we got here? That was another De La Vega goal. So we had Jordan setting him up in transition here. Seems like they've been combining really well. Like I've been liking specifically the De La Vega Morris chemistry and how Ferreira is integrated with both of them, honestly. There was Rusnak's goal. Here. Oh, wow. I think that was Jordan to Ariola. That could have been a goal. Let's see if we can find the next goal. Here we go. I think this next one is that's a Ferreira goal right there. See, that's the type of stuff that he can do. He's going to hit a few of those this year, I think. I hope. Yeah, the Rusnak goal looked like he wasn't even trying to shoot it. I think he actually was. But, yeah, it looked like he was trying to pass it. All right, Georgie just ended a man's career. He doesn't score right here, but watch how he ends. See, all right, watch. See this guy? See this guy right here? This guy has a career. He's got a career. This is Georgie. He ends careers. This guy, career-wise, he's not going to have one in just a second here. Watch this. That's it. That's it. His career's over. His career's over. I love watching Georgie do stuff like this, though, in all seriousness. Whoop. That would have been a sick goal. Georgie's looked, according to Jeremiah, Georgie was one of the preseason standouts before they went to Marbella. All right. Some more good goals. 19 goals in preseason. 19 goals. I'm counting the 3 that they scored in the second scrimmage against Louisville today. It's definitely been good stuff. I've enjoyed watching it, but I'm done with preseason. I'm done with it. I'm ready for the games to start. I'm ready for CCC. That's what I'm ready for. Call Georgie HR the way he'd be ending careers. Exactly. I hope Georgie plays over 1,000 minutes this year. I want to see what he could do if he actually got that much run. All right. Let's play some sound. I've pulled some quotes here. I'm going to start with some Schmetz sound. I was going through the interviews today that Schmetz had and some of the players. So let's hear from Schmetzer first. See what the coach has got to say about all this. He's been watching the same preseason that we have. So what does he think? I don't know. Let's find out.
So I guess we're back in
sunny Seattle.
Sunny Seattle. How's it to be back?
Great. Everybody's happy to be back, and I know it was warmer in Spain, but it's nice coming out here. It's good. Good to be home.
How would you assess your satisfaction with the time in Spain?
I would say that this camp has been one of the most productive that we've had in quite some time.
What did you like about it?
One of the most productive that we've had in quite some time.
Just training, physical portion of it. I'll get into Albert. I mean, Albert's got a little tweak in his quad. When we got him back, we did a scan just because he's a vital part of our team. But just reading him, and Albert might make it back for Antigua. Maybe Charlotte is probably the safer bet, but only one injury, getting both groups, the quality the last games that we had were really good quality for both squads. We were very pleased.
Since you mentioned Albert and Reed, can you give a formal update on their health?
Well, Reed's, it's his other hamstring. And again, formally, it's Albert's right quad. Just a little tweak in the very top part of it. He's going to be day-to-day. He'd probably wait till after the Louisville game to come back and join bits of training. But again, I want to be cautious with him.
Okay, so a couple things there. Most productive in quite some time. So I just think that confirms an observation that Noah and I have made, and I think a lot of people have made, which is that it feels like it's been a notably good, productive preseason. It seems like the vibes are good. It seems like everyone's bought in. It seems like Ferreira is fitting in well. De La Vega looks like the best freaking soccer player alive. We'll see if he lives up to that billing, but it's certainly encouraging to see him look like that in preseason. So and then we're gonna let's do the Christian Roldan sound next. I pulled a quote where he was asked about De La Vega, and I thought his answer was pretty interesting actually. So I'm gonna play this one, and then we can chew on this. Let me just go to the timestamp. All right. Oh, but before we do that, the other thing from that was the injury updates. RBW seems like he's out long term. This Rusnak thing, so I guess he has like a recurring hip thing, but this was a quad tweak. I gave the preseason an A- grade just because I wish that wasn't on my mind. I'm sure Schmetz feels the same way, but you never want your DP number 10 with the quad tweak before you've even played a game. That's Reese, I know you're brigade, but to be fair, Rusnak's been extremely durable pretty much the entire time he's been here. He plays like 30 games, 30 league games a year, plus Champions League and Leagues Cup. So I don't know if we're doing a Rusnak is injury prone narrative, but he hasn't been. Anyway, we'll monitor that. Schmetz did say that Charlotte, the season opener, league opener against Charlotte, could be a realistic target for Rusnak to be back. So let's hope for that for now. I'm not going to be tripping too hard about it till he misses that Charlotte game. And then I'm going to go into full on panic and emotional breakdown. Because that's how I handle adversity. Okay. Next up, we've got the man himself, Christian Rondon. Hi, Christian. This is in response to a question from Sounder at Heart Overlord, Jeremiah O'Shawn, about Pedro de la Vega.
Pretty strong this preseason. Has he seemed as different to you as the results have seemed to us from the outside?
No, honestly, not a whole lot different. But we see a healthy Pedro. We see a Pedro that seems to have acclimated a little bit to Seattle, to the game here in MLS, and hopefully we see that in league play. But he just needs some run of games, and we're seeing that this preseason. Hopefully, he continues to stay healthy because he's going to be an important piece to our team.
What did you think of his play today? It seemed like he was everywhere.
Extremely sharp, right? How quick he is on the dribble. It's really hard to dispossess him, and then as well as arriving in the box. I think that's something that is underrated on his behalf. He arrives in the box really well. He attacks the penalty area really well, and he's going to get a lot of chances if we're playing forward a lot.
So that I think that echoes what a lot of guys on the team have said regarding De La Vega when they get asked questions to this effect, which is that like he's not playing like different or better necessarily than he always did. He's just healthy. He's just actually been able to get out there and get a run, and now we're finally seeing what he can do. So it's definitely exciting. Only minor concerns that I wish they played a little bit tougher opponents in preseason, but you got to be really excited for the season. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the teams that they were playing were all that good. But the way I kind of look at that is when you're playing a team that you have that much of a talent and just financial advantage over, that they looked how you should look. It's kind of like how last year people said that the game against the Crew doesn't count as a win because Seattle did it when Columbus was shorthanded and they had Sean Gwatzke as their goalkeeper. I mean, like, no, it does count because they took advantage of the situation where Sean Gwatzke was in goal and they put four past him. Some teams might not have taken advantage of that to that effect. So it's the same idea. Like when they play Louisville City FC, what I'm looking for going into that game, the number one thing I'm looking for is like, all right, like realistically, you should look way better than this team. You should dominate this team. You should put a few by this team and ideally not concede to this team. And that's what they did. So that's why I was hyped to see it. Yeah, only Rusnak's goals don't count. Exactly. Does year's team have more Spanish-speaking players than last year's? If it does, not by a lot. The team always has a lot of Spanish speakers, and now they added Ferreira, who speaks Spanish. So I think maybe one more with his addition. What other sound did I have here? Let's do the Obed. We got some Obed sound. Zach says the Sounders are going to steamroll Antigua. I need to scout them up. I'm hoping Nico can help me out with that. I was actually I was looking around today to see if I could find an Antigua beat reporter to come on and do an interview with us. I wasn't able to find anybody, but I admittedly didn't spend all that. I didn't look particularly hard. But I think I definitely wanted to do a lot of scouting on them on the next Lobbing Scorchers kickoff with Nico. Just figure out who their star players are, how they play, how Seattle matches up. It is always a little tough because they've played. I was looking at it today. First of all, I can tell you guys that they are number one right now in the Guatemalan top flight. Let's look at this Guatemalan table here. We can do that. This is the Guatemalan top flight table, folks. Seattle's competition is number one right now. 16 points, 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. They've won 3 out of their last 5, only lost 1 out of their last 5. So they're kind of cooking in league play. Well, and I think more important than where they are in the standings, they've played 8 matches. So they have a fitness advantage here. This is what you deal with in CCC is you play a lot of teams that are already in their league season. So this team is first place in their league and they played 8 games. So I can't speak to their overall quality yet. I still need to research that, but I do know that and they also qualified for Champions League. So they're clearly one of the best teams in this league. But like I said, I'm going to do more scouting on them, find out who we all need to be watching out for in this series. Bad Sequel says, who has the bigger year this year, Christian or Alex? Christian is one of the guys who's under the radar, looked really good, really on it this preseason. He had a goal and 2 assists. It just looks like he's ready to go. He really I don't know how much you guys saw this, but last year he got a ton of praise from the national pundits after his switch back to the 6. Doyle said that he was playing like the best 6 in the entire league for a while, which I watch him play every game, and I don't know. I mean, I watch him play every game. I don't watch every other 6 play every game like Doyle does because he's built different. But I don't know. I do watch a ton of the rest of the league, and I don't know if I would have said best 6 in the league. But when I saw Doyle say that, I thought about it, and I was like, he has been really damn good. And Doyle watches the whole league enough to be able to say that. So I take that seriously. That's a long way of saying I think Christian's going to have a big year this year. I do think an Alex bounce back is important in the sense that for the first few years of his career, when he was the full-time starter at right back, he was very productive from out wide in ways that Nuhu famously is not. He has something like 18, 19 assists for his MLS career. And last year he only had 1 assist. So I want to see Alex get back to that form where he was like a 5+ assist guy as a right back. I think kind of rotating and mix and matching him and Paul Rothrock at right wing back, that's a pretty nice 2-stack for that position. I really want to see Rothrock play wing back this year. Obviously he's a winger by trade, but I just think his skill set is pretty well suited for that. I do. All right, let's do some Obed sound next. He was talking. I think I have some quotes here about his aspirations, but then also just how preseason has been going. Do you think any Sounders will get a call up to the USMNT roster? Well, I would have said Jackson Reagan, but we know that there's tension there. Might be beef. So we'll see if Jackson Reagan, if he's not in the mix for that team, I don't know what we're doing. I'm Canadian now. I converted to Canada, so I don't really care. But I don't know what we're talking about if Jackson Reagan can't get some senior caps here. Who are the U.S. center backs right now? It's like still Walker Zimmerman and Tim Ream. Like, come on, let's get it's time for the new guard. And the new guard is Jackson Reagan. All right. Let's get Obed. Let's hear from Obed. What's going on, Obed? How are you doing? There he is. There he is. Okay.
Yeah, Obed, obviously you're back from Spain. Just want to get your take on what was probably the biggest thing you learned out of the group, out of the coaching staff from that Marbella camp.
I think we have a really good group. I think everyone's buying in the way we want to play. I think it's starting to gel a little bit more after 2 seasons. I think we've been playing this way. I think now it's easier when guys come in like Jesus, Paul, like easier for them to integrate the way we play because everyone already knows what we want to do. And I think that's what we learned from this trip is that everyone knows when their name is called, what they have to do in every position. I think the teams that we played, especially the last team, challenged us. They tested us, how we can press better, how we can keep the ball better, and just manage games. So I think it was a really good trip.
It feels like the new format is more aggressive. Maybe there's a little risk in you guys pressing 3 on top. How would you describe that, and how has your role changed with some of those nuances that maybe they've added?
I think our system hasn't really changed. Maybe because it's a front 3, you might think it's a little bit more aggressive. I think we've always tried to be aggressive, but the personnel obviously is a little bit different. We have new players, so we have to adjust the way we kind of set up in the 5-back. But I feel like it's very similar, and I think my role really hasn't changed. Like I said, it's the same system, just new players, and there's adding more stuff to it so we can get better and win trophies.
And then the second answer I had was right about here.
Of your personal goals.
Trying to build off last season. I think it was a good season, but I think I can, I've said it before, get more assists, get more goals, get more involved in the attacking third. That's really my goals. And obviously defensively, get stuck in, win tackles, win the ball back, and obviously improve my soccer IQ. I think that's a big thing since I got here, especially with Preki and the coaches. They've helped me, increase my soccer IQ, which is what I'm looking forward to as well next season.
How would you assess sort of like
this season?
Yeah. How would you assess the depth of this team and sort of the internal competitions?
I think we have a lot of good players everywhere. I think every position has, competition in the midfield. Me, Christian, Danny, JP, whoever's in there, center backs as well. I think everywhere is competition, especially up front as well. You see the quality that we have, and it's going to push the team to get better. And, if you're not in form, you're at risk for losing your spot.
Good stuff from Obed there, both about his role on the team and his personal goals, but then also just how preseason has been going. Like he was talking about like the buy-in, right? Like, and I think that's the most important thing at this time of year. Like I was thinking about this from the standpoint of just like all this drama that's been going on with the Timbies. Losing their best player, with FC Cincinnati and Lucho Acosta. Like these are guys who are not bought in. And when you when you don't have buy-in from players of that stature, I mean, you get in a situation like those two teams are, where you have no choice but to move off of them. But like, it's also just unneeded, unwanted drama and headaches that I've been very glad to see Seattle not a part of any of that. Like, I think if anything, the vibe out here in Marbella was a full buy-in. So I guess what I'm saying is like preseason part of your objective in preseason is to ideally minimize the amount of chaos and turmoil and conflict and insane beefs you get in with your best player MVP candidates. Like, isn't it crazy that both Lucho Acosta and Evander ended up in pretty similar type beefs with their respective teams? That's not the vibe you want to have while you're starting off the season. Now I do realize now we were talking about it on the show yesterday, and they already signed the ostensive Evander replacement, who I guess is considered more of a two-way player than Evander, but I just have a hard time believing that they're gonna find a guy who can equal. I mean, Evander had 15 and 19 last year. Hope Obed goes to either Germany, Spain, or Italian leagues. Oh, well, that is something that we talked about on the podcast that dropped today. He said that his plan is to go to Europe. You know, there had been talk about whether he was going to go to Liga MX or Europe, and he said the goal is to go to Europe. And I agree. I've been saying Bundesliga for some reason. That just kind of like feels right to me. But I could see La Liga or Serie A as well. But really, they got to get this $10 million plus bag for him, and it should be. I mean, like, this is a big time talent here, so I'm hoping it's like it's a club in one of those leagues that you mentioned, Brando, but like a good, like a lot of times players like this go overseas to a random club and they kind of don't get PT and they're just sort of wasting away. That's what you want to avoid. I feel pretty, I don't know about you guys. I feel pretty confident that Obed's going to excel wherever he goes. I think he's, I just think he's that good a player. Imagine we got DP Evander instead of DP Rusnak or DP Morris. That's a classic Noah take. He wanted Evander on the Sounders. I would love to have Evander on the Sounders, but I don't know. You might not like this take. I'm not sure there's as much of a gap between Rusnak and Evander as you might think. I think Evander's, I rate him higher in terms of like raw stat sheet production. I don't think you can really argue that. He scored more goals, but he only had 3 more assists. Like, to me, I judge a number 10 by what they do as a facilitator more than as a goal scorer. I'm really like not I'm not bugging that hard on a 3 assist difference between the number 10s. But I mean, I take your point. Like, I do rate Evander over Rusnak. I think it's fair to say. Younger, better, scores and assists. Yeah. Can't wait for our CONCACAF match. Cavalry was fun to watch. Yeah, no, the games have been getting started, and there have already been some funny results. I need to start really like buckling down and watching the games. They like started happening when I didn't even realize it. And now we're almost in full swing. Seattle's going to Guatemala in 1 week, guys. 1 week. All right, let's keep moving through these interviews. If you have any questions or topics or things that you want to hit either related to Seattle or around the league, go ahead and drop them in chat. The main things that I had for this stream was talking to Jackson, watching some of those preseason goals with you guys, and then going through some of this audio. But other than that, I didn't really have any set plans. We're at an hour 10 here. We've been going for like 2 hours on these, but I might cut it a little shorter tonight if there's nothing else to do. But like I said, if you got anything you want me to get to or anything that hasn't been hit yet, go ahead and drop it in the chat, and we can keep it rolling. But first, we have Jesus Ferreira sound. Hey, Jesus. How are you? Welcome to Seattle.
How are you feeling going into the season?
Yeah, no, I think the group is focused on the objective, which is win games. So I think we're preparing well. We're taking every game, game by game, and taking it very seriously. So I think the guys are very motivated. We know that we have a long season, so the whole team is preparing for a long journey.
You had a couple good combinations there with Jordan. Tried to play him in a couple other times. It seems like you guys are working together well so far.
Yeah, these preseason games are to kind of build connections and kind of test things out. And so for me, there's always seeing what he likes and seeing what space he likes to run into and kind of getting to know everyone and seeing what spots I can help and do my best. And so I think these preseason games are well for that. And so, like you said, it's just me finding that connection with Jordan, with Pedro, and everyone on the front line.
I don't know if have you played any games with Pedro yet, but I don't know, what you make of his play? It seemed like he had a great game.
Yeah, I have not. I think this is the first one. He's a great guy, off the field, on the field, and we know his ability on the field. And so when you have a guy like that, it's hard for other teams. When you have multiple guys who can run in behind and come and get the ball, it's different threat. And so it's amazing that we have a group like that can have different guys that can threat and score goals, assists, and that's what makes us powerful.
How are you adapting to the team so far?
I think I'm doing good. It's hard when you come, but knowing a lot of the guys and playing against them for a while, it makes it a lot easier. And so having fun at the same time. I think a lot of the soccer is having fun and enjoying the moments, and I think that's what I'm doing, and it's fun. It's fun adapting to the guys and getting to know them.
The connection between you and your teammates.
I think it's very strong. I think they're learning a lot about me and how I like to play and what I'm good at, which helps at the end of the day the team. And so I'm learning what they're good at and where they need me to be to help the team and what I can do to help the team. And so it's still a connection that is still working, but we're getting there.
So yeah, it seems like his integration into the team is going about as well as could be hoped for so far. Ended the preseason with 2 goals, 2 assists. I was definitely encouraged both by the goal he scored, but really like just his work as a facilitator. We were talking about this with the guys on Soccer Wise. His work as a facilitator might sneakily be the biggest X factor that he brings to this team. Like his creativity and unselfishness are just things that I've been enjoying watching in preseason, and I'm dying to watch how it looks come CCC and in the league season. Just because like Jackson and I were talking about the skill set, his skill set specifically really feels like a logical fit on this roster in terms of the different ways you can deploy him and how good he is at playing off other guys. I think that is the thing that you guys are going to see right away. If you have not watched him play much for FC Dallas, the allure of his skill set and him as a player is the well-roundedness of it. It's not just the goals. It's how adaptable he is, how versatile he is, the unselfishness. I'm just excited to watch it. Set piece takers for the season. It's going to be Rusnak and Ferreira as the first choices. Rusnak, like what? We're not going to do the discourse tonight. I got dangerously close to that earlier. But whatever else you want to say about him, he's one of the 2 to 3 best set piece takers in the league. I watched enough of the league to be able to say that, or at least he was last year. I think last year he was arguably the best set piece taker in the league. I saw some people, I can't remember if it was in our chat or I think it was in our YouTube comments, who were like saying that they don't like his corner kicks or so. He's the best. He hits the best corner kicks in MLS right now, and he scored a few off set pieces last year too, and his service from out wide is elite. Like he can range out and put in pinpoint service about as well as any number 10 I could think of, like in MLS. Like I don't know if we're talking specifically set pieces and wide service, I don't know how many number 10s in the league right now I rate over Rusnak. Certainly with set pieces, I rate hardly anybody over him. He was he was literally like, if you look at the metrics, he was in the 99th percentile in terms of it was like off of like dangerous chance creation off set pieces or something. So you literally like you can't hit it any better than 99th percentile. But Ferreira is really good on set pieces as well, or at least he was for FC Dallas. So in any scenario where Rusnak's not on the field and Ferreira is, I think it'll be Ferreira. But as long as Rusnak's on the field, honestly, I want him taking them all day. I just think he's that good at them. See, yeah, like you're hating on his corner kicks. I don't think the numbers bear that out. I don't think they do. Like, I think because corners, if he's in the 99th percentile, corners play into that, and he took like all the corners. So I think just statistically, I could be wrong. I don't know. And then Leiva's actually a good shout. His free kicks are quite good. And De La Vega, to be honest, I think that was something that was billed as part of his skill set, but I don't think I haven't really seen it that much to know. But I'd venture to guess that if Rusnak and Ferreira aren't on the field for whatever reason, De La Vega probably would be taking some. Is Kim Keehee goal dangerous receiving set pieces? Not like especially to my memory. I think he had one MLS goal last time he played with Seattle. He did. I was looking at his stats when they brought him back. He had a few goals. I'll look it up right now, but I think he had at least 3 or 4 goals for the team that he was playing for. Let's see. Kim Keehee has 9 career top flight goals in 352 appearances. He had 3 goals in the last 3 years playing in the K League. Or yeah, it looks like 3 goals all comps playing. So to answer your question, I don't think he's an especially goal dangerous center back, but Jackson Reagan was really showing that part of his game developing, especially down the stretch last season, which that turned Jackson Reagan from like a really, really good up and coming young defender into a potential center back demigod. I mean, if Jackson Reagan becomes like a Chad Marshall level aerial threat in terms of his ability to get on the score sheet as a CB, he's good enough at defense and he's physically imposing enough that, I mean, the ceiling could be even higher than we thought. And that's why I'm like, when I look at it, the USMNT should be all over trying to get him caps. Like, I don't understand why they wouldn't be. He does score more with his feet. That's kind of true. Like, for a guy, I was saying for the first like year and a half, 2 years of his career, or maybe more like the first year of his career, that I don't understand how a guy who's 6'5", 6'6" isn't like more consistently dangerous in the air. I think he has gotten better at that, but you're right. A couple of his goals last year were with his feet. Something I want to see more of RCBs, and Jackson finally got some goals. I'd be excited to see more of that from RCBs. Yeah, for sure. Yanmar has a few goals, but yeah, it's not like the most important thing on my mind. But I think with Jackson specifically, it would be such a ridiculous boon for his skill set. Let's see. Did I have any more? Okay, yeah, I had some Jordan Morris sound. We can get to that. Let's do that. We're going to keep chugging through these interviews. I was enjoying today going through the interviews and just, checking the pulse, seeing where everyone was at with the preseason. The vibes seem good. I'm happy with where things stand at the moment, and really we're all killing time until this season gets underway, aren't we? Any updates on Atencio progressing with being a CB? That is a good question that I don't believe Schmetz got asked. I don't go to training much anymore, but Jeremiah and Nico do, so I can ask them to ask about that. Jordan Morris, welcome to the stream, Jordan. Thanks for joining Lobbing Scorchers. Let's see. All right.
It seems like you guys are committing a lot of numbers forward, both to press and to play with the ball. You know, what have been some of the concepts that maybe have stood out to you that you've had to kind of thought about and really take in?
Yeah, I think that's a big one, is committing numbers forward. You see, I think last year sometimes we struggled to get numbers in the box, you know, and it's tough to score that way. So a big emphasis for us this year is getting, you know, committing more numbers forward, getting more numbers in the box. And you saw that lead to more goals in preseason. So stuff still to work on, but that's a big emphasis of ours is just getting more numbers forward.
How about defensively when it comes to your, you know, trigger pressures and all that?
Yeah, I mean, similar kind of stuff that we were doing last year. Obviously, we had a great year defensively. We were organized, hard to break down. So continuing that trend, like I said, fitting some new guys in. But yeah, we have a lot of hard workers that are gonna, you know, it's gonna be tough to break us down again this year. So that's always a core kind of tenet of ours.
In terms of getting numbers in the box, how important has the build-up, right? Possession, build-up, and then get those numbers, and how much time has been spent on that? Because that's great.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think we're good in both areas of the game, whether it's the build-up or transitioning on teams. But you know, adding guys like Paul, like Jesus, guys that like to run, that like to get in the box, that are really good in possession as well. So whatever way we're playing, whatever the game lends to it on that day, whether it's more of a transition game or more building up in possession, we have guys to do both. And yeah, we've been working on both areas, so it's been good.
You know, historically, one of the best predictors of success is previous success, and the amount of minutes you can carry over from one year to the next. I think I saw that you guys are something like third in the league in terms of carried over minutes from last year. How does that end up, like, when you're out there, how does that actually manifest itself when you, like, just knowing, being familiar with one another, and I don't know, does it change the confidence you have in making runs, or knowing that someone's going to be where you expect them to be?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, yeah, you get to know tendencies of players, and you know, where they like to end up, what they like to do on the ball. And I think something that's been helpful for, you know, the new guys coming in, Paul and Jesus, obviously a lot of us have played with us, so we understand kind of how they like to play. We've played against them a lot in the past, so we understand kind of how they like to play and what their tendencies are. But yeah, that's huge. Having that chemistry on the field makes a huge difference. I think you see that within this team. I think you talk to anyone, this is, you know, the closest group I've been a part of. So it's exciting.
Closest group he's been a part of. I feel like that. I thought that last answer was interesting as it relates to a lot of the discourse that's been flying around this offseason. The fact that Seattle is returning so many players from last year, 92% of the minutes or whatever it was, I think a lot of people view that as a negative. We were kind of making the point a couple shows ago that there is something to be said for continuity sometimes. I think part of the reason that they've looked so good this preseason is, I think that's what Jeremiah was getting at with that question, is you have a core of players who have been through the battles together. They've played together for a long time. They have chemistry that's just built in at this point. Think about how long Jordan and Christian have been playing pro soccer together at this point. It's like damn near a decade. So I think that's here's what I'll say. It's certainly it is an advantage that they have going into a tournament like CCC, that a lot of the MLS clubs going into it this year don't have. It's really hard to compete in CCC if you're like dealing with a ton of roster turnover and integrating new guys. I think it's going to be like it's a challenging proposition what Seattle's trying to do, getting Ferreira being a focal point of the attack in as little amount of time as he's been with the team, having not played with this team before, you know. So I don't know. It's just food for thought. I'm gonna pull up some Paul Arriola sound real quick. I actually didn't watch his interview, but I feel like we gave everyone else some shine. So we'll give Paul some shine. See how he's doing. It's gonna take me a second. Ari, does Noah hate you and make you do a solo pod? Because apparently he goes to school now or something. Like he's going to class. I don't know. That's a bad decision. I told him he should drop out. Like that's probably the easiest decision, but you know, some people are academics, you know. I wasn't one of those people necessarily. My GPA, call it the fine 2.9. Not horrible, but definitely not best 11 type of stuff. Here we go. Oh, there you are, Paul. Paul, welcome to Seattle. How's it going?
So how has it been? Is it like integrating, and you've now traveled with the team and had several weeks with them? What's it been like?
Yeah, it's been great. Absolutely no complaints, right? It's obviously being a new guy, you just want to kind of integrate as quickly as possible, and just be a part of the group and really throw yourself into it, which I have. I've really enjoyed myself on and off the field. The group is great. And on the field, obviously, we have a lot of really good things going for us. And obviously, hoping to start the season off on a strong note.
You've moved around a lot in your career, but you sort of made your name as a wingback. And it seems like that's how they envision you playing this year. How has been the reintegration in that position? And what are some of the things you like about that position?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, I think one of the strong traits of mine is that I'm a hard runner. I have a really good engine, fortunately, and so I'm constantly kind of up and back, and I think that position just naturally fits me in terms of commitment to get into the box, because I do have an offensive mindset that I'm always willing to risk a little more going forward and see if I can create an extra number in the box, arrive late, try and create things down the side that I'm playing on, and then defensively. I'm a pretty humble guy, and so I kind of always fall back to not letting my teammate down and being in the right spot. And that's kind of like the wingback role, right? Constantly getting into the box, both sides, and helping in the middle of the field. So I've really enjoyed it. It's been great again to be able to find myself in that position. I think like I said, we have really good things going, and if that's where I'm able to start the season, then I'm going to do my best in that position.
Listening to him right there, I'm excited to watch that guy play wingback. I really am. What he was talking about with how the position matches his skill set between his work rate and his commitment to defense, that's exactly like how I was thinking of it when I heard that they were going to go get him. Is like, I think he's been a legitimately solid to sometimes solidly above average winger in the league at various points with DC and FC Dallas. On this team, I really think that he can be a big boost as an attacking wingback. And really, I guess I haven't been, Noah and I have talked a lot about how we want Jovan Jones and Brad Smith to come back. Not really those guys in particular, but guys who can do that. Paul Arriola can do that. You saw it on the De La Vega, the super sick De La Vega goal that he scored yesterday. That was Paul Arriola with the run and the assist. It's hard not to kind of just dream of the possibilities with this attack as it stands, but then wingback Paul Arriola could be nice. Paul Arriola, Jesus Ferreira, Albert Rusnak, Pedro De La Vega, and Jordan Morris have been DPs or are this year. With Paul Rothrock, do we have 6 DPs? That is one way to think of it. He produced at a max TAM pace last year, I think. I don't know. I'm kind of just, that was a freestyle take. I mean, he had like 8 and 3 or something across all comps. That's like it's a max TAM play. That's max TAM production. All right. Pulling up on about an hour and a half. That was all I got for you guys. Honestly, I don't have anything else on my outline. So going to start the process of wrapping it up here, unless Noah Noah's at an art. He's at school now. He's at an art show. This guy's not. He's not about the. He's not about the content life. Not about it. It's disappointing. He's fired. Just kidding. It's good that he has a life and cares about academics. All right. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up a little lo-fi. And then chat, you can throw down any last questions or topics or observations about anything. Doesn't even have to be about the Sounders. Yeah, you can throw topics at me that have nothing to do with soccer. Feel like this is the best talent Arriola and Ferreira have had, so can't wait to see them cook with this team. Exactly. Ferreira in particular, he's never been on a team this good. He hasn't. The best teams he was on with FC Dallas would make it to the playoffs, and he would be a key part of that, and they would lose to Seattle specifically. So I don't know. Like, I almost feel like it's could be even being undersold what he could bring to this team. Thoughts on the 2 line from Redmond to Seattle? Man, I don't know my public transit that well. I take the light rail a lot, but not the buses. It sounds like, I think you're talking about the buses, Reese. How long did it take us to make this setup? A really long time, Brando. What happened was Noah came over to record, but he brought all the new gear because I got clowned on in the YouTube comments, so we had to get more polish. So he came over with the gear, and we determined that to make the background better, we had to rotate my desk from the wall that it was facing to face in like a different direction. And to do that, we had to basically disassemble my entire home office / streaming setup, rotate the desk, then reassemble it. So that took really long. And then I didn't know what I was doing, so I was not very helpful. I said, Noah, cook. He cooked. But we got it set up, and I think it looks nice. New light rail. Okay. Redmond to Seattle. I knew that there was the Shoreline one in like Linwood. I didn't know that there was a Redmond one. I support any light rail expansion. What I'm hoping happens someday is that, have you guys ever been to New York City? Like, you can take a train anywhere. It's freaking unbelievable. It'd be so cool if we could do that here and just not have to have a car. I think that's like the ultimate goal, but it's not going to happen till like 2085, by which point, who knows where I'm going to live. Or if I don't even know if I'm going to be alive by that point. So live stream for the Antigua match. We hadn't talked about doing watch along streams. I guess unfortunately I can't really do that because I guess for road games that I'm not going to, which most of the road games I'm not going to anymore. I could do that. We could do watch alongs maybe for road games. Home games I'm usually going to be there like in the box. So I can't really that would be bad press box etiquette, I think, if I was like doing a watch along stream like bullshitting with you guys in the press box during the game. I would think that was sick. I don't think the other media and team staff there would be that into that. But I'm open to the idea if that's something that I don't know. I consume a lot of content and I personally haven't gotten into watch along streams, but could be sick. Yeah, that the Japanese trains that should be the ultimate goal that we aspire to. Silent, expressionless watch along. Let's go. Yeah, it'll be a watch along where I don't do any commentary. I just sit there watching in silence. Don't interact with the chat at all. All right. Last call. Any other thoughts, questions, takes, observations about the Seattle Sounders, Major League Soccer, life in general, the light rail, Albert Rusnak, going once? What about one super chat for the road? Oh, okay. We didn't goose egg. Derek gave us one. All right. Yes, that's fine. All right. In that case, gonna wrap it up with some shilling. Okay. We got one last one in here. Who would you expect to be next sold after Vargas? That is a good debate. Let's see how this Atencio CB experiment goes. What if Atencio is just like an insanely elite CB? Like they find out that this was the move all along and he's just a multi-million-dollar transfer worthy CB. Could happen. The thing is, if he is good at that position, his value goes, I think it would skyrocket, right? Like a stud CB, his age with as much top flight experience as he has, that would be way more valuable than if he had stayed in midfield. Digging all the new content at Sounder at Heart. Keep it up. Appreciate that. Thank you guys. That's a good segue to the shilling. If you like the content, want to support the show, sounderatheart.com/LS. Become a YouTube member. That really helps. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. That's a big thing. We're learning the YouTube algorithm. I feel like I understand it more than I used to. Liking the video apparently is it's a big thing. The algo, the way it works is if it sees a video with a lot of likes, it's like, I gotta promote that. It has a lot of likes. I gotta promote it. I'm a sentient algorithm. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars, write a review. We have we actually have a fair amount of reviews on Apple Reviews. That's another thing that the algo is into. Pat, yeah, we're just wrapping up, but thanks for stopping by. If all the preseason doesn't mean anything, preseasons, this made me very hyped, prepared to be jaded. You are not delusional or out of your mind for feeling that vibe from this preseason. I've been saying this preseason the vibe and how it's looked on the field have been notably good. I've seen Sounders preseasons where it looks sloppy and disjointed, and they are playing teams that they're way better than on paper, and they don't look that good because it's preseason and they're getting acclimated, and it's just it takes some time to like figure it all out, especially because there's always new players. This preseason for Seattle has been on point. It looks crisp. Ball's moving fast. The guys are on it. They're in the right places. They're making the right runs. The execution's on point. The finishing's been on point. Transition's been on point. They look bought in. They look ready. They look hungry. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited to sweat this coverage too. This is gonna be the first season where I've been podcasting and live streaming the whole time, and this is going to be, I feel like it's just lined up great where the team is looking good, and it's setting up to be, at least if nothing else, they're going to be like a relevant, interesting team this year. Because like, say it all goes down in flames, that would at least be a spectacle, you know, because of what the expectations are. So really, from an entertainment perspective, there's not a lot of ways it could go sideways. So happy for Pedro. Yeah. He looks awesome. Every goal by a teammate, first to congratulate them. Yeah, exactly. Like he looks so happy. All right, guys, I'm going to call it right there. Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate the support. Appreciate everyone who tunes in and makes this show go. It's going to be a big season ahead, and we're going to be grinding for all of it. We're going to be live streaming. We're going to be podcasting. I'm going to be writing. I haven't plugged this, but plans to write for Sounder at Heart. I'm also taking over. I don't write for the MLS website much anymore. It's mostly editing, but I'm taking over Young Players of the Week from Charlie Baum to lessen his workload on a given week. So for that, I'm going to be going around MLS, looking at the best standout young players. It's going to drop weekly on MLSsoccer.com. So tons more coverage coming your way throughout the season. Appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. These live shows have been a lot of fun. We're going to keep doing them every Monday, every Thursday. Mondays at 8 a.m. With Nico Moreno, Lobbing Scorchers Kickoff. This is Under the Lights, Thursday night streaming with me and whoever else I can convince to come on. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you on Monday for live streaming with Nico. Go check out the new podcast. Derek, you're the only one who gives us super chats. I love you, man. Appreciate you. Catch you guys later.